Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and we're talking about how Manchester United will fit in our main signings of this summer transfer window, which are Cavani and TELLES. Forget the young lads Pellistri and Traore. I don't think we need to put high expectations on them, especially when one of them's not coming till January. So how do Cavani and TELLES fit into Manchester United and what does it mean for the season ahead? Will it be a big improvement? Can we salvage something from the wreckage of that transfer window? Because I tell you what, you're probably like me. I don't want to hear the name Sancho, transfers and Manchester United for a very, very long time. We've got to move on. I'm disappointed, but we've got to move on. Look, what I would say is, though, very, very quickly, the Manchester United Football Club, as per usual, are spinning more plates than a circus act. And, you know, we're hearing all sorts of reasons about why we messed the deal up. Oh, they wanted big agent fees. Oh, they wanted this, they wanted that. Man, come on, you spent weeks on one deal. Like, what are we supposed to feel sorry for idiocy? If they wanted all this money, you knew this in August. Walk away from the deal and do other business. Like, sympathy runs through. And the funny thing is as well about plate spinning. When I think about plate spinning, you know what plate spinning is? It's like them sticks and they spin as many plates as they can at the circus. Who's the one who's normally spinning the plates? The clown. All this PR spinning plates, and it's the clowns doing it. How ironic. Anyway, we move on. How does Cavani and TELLES fit into this Manchester United side? What difference do they make? Well, first of all, I think there's three different formations we could play. I mean, there's more than that, but three significant formation styles that we could play with Cavani and TELLES. Now, considering Martial will not be back for the Newcastle game, I've used the Newcastle game as the first example. And as you can see, the first example is a 5-3-2. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has lost his first two games of the season. We've got a very difficult October to come. We've got Newcastle, then straight after that we're playing PSG, Chelsea, Arsenal, Leipzig. We've got some tough games to come. Our back's against the wall. He's not got the transfers he needs. We've lost our first two games. We've conceded 11 goals in our first three Premier League games. I think we're primed to go to a back five, which actually will fit TELLES. As a left wing back, TELLES would be suited to that. As a left centre back, Luke Shaw has done very well. And obviously you get that protection in numbers with a back five. The weaknesses of that are obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who is not an attacking right back and is not actually playing that well. And obviously Maguire and Bailly, you know, strengthening numbers doesn't mean that they'll be any better. So, and also the big issue for me is I don't like the back five. I don't think it's a very entertaining. I don't think it's a good watch. I think we spend most of the time without the ball and we look to hit teams on the break. Now, that was quite successful last season against teams like Chelsea and Manchester City with the pace of Martial and Greenwood and Rashford and even Dan James at times against Man City. It worked really well with that front two. The brilliant thing, or the not so brilliant thing about the 5-3-2 is, whilst it might work well for TELLES and it might stop us conceding goals, it will make us not as good on the eye. It will not get Bruno on the ball as much. And also, Cavani isn't particularly quick for hitting teams on the break. So the 5-3-2 is quite flawed. It works well for TELLES, but it doesn't work well for Cavani. It doesn't work well for Bruno. And it makes us a very defensive side without much of the possession. Focusing on those two players for a moment, Cavani, if I look at his strengths now and I look at his strengths 4 or 5 years ago, I've always said I've never really been a big fan of Cavani, but I will admit he's a top-class striker. And he has always been considered a top-class striker until probably the last few years where he's not played as much for PSG and he's coming towards the end of his career. How much he's got left in the tank of his career is debatable. I personally think we have been conned, really. Fair play to his agents and Cavani for getting all that money, but I think we've been conned. We'll see what happens. But the positives about Cavani is he's strong, he's got good stamina, he will score goals. But he's not quick, he's not a creator, and he's going to need chances. In many ways, he's a bit like an inferior Zlatan, who when he came, I wouldn't say a Poundland Zlatan, that's a bit too disrespectful to Cavani. He's certainly not coming to United from PSG off the back of a season that Zlatan did when he came to United. But if we provide him with chances, I think he'll score goals, and that's the big if. If you play a 5-3-2, you need pace on the break and you're not going to get many chances. And I do use those games last season where we did beat Man City, where we did beat Chelsea by soaking up the pressure and hitting them on the break. You don't get many chances and you've got to be quick on the break. Well, that's not going to help Cavani because he's not particularly quick and he does need chances. So we could go to a 5-3-2. I think TELLES down the left-hand side as an attacking left-back who doesn't have to be too focused on the defensive side of things. I think the 5-3-2 really works well for TELLES. But I don't think it works well for Cavani, and I don't think it works well for the evolution of Solskjaer, because this system will not be a system that is easy on the eye, and it won't make people want to support Ollie if they're already Ollie out. So I'm not convinced that that is the way forward for Manchester United. The second formation is the traditional 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3 or whatever. There's many permutations, but for me, it's a back four. It's Matic holding the midfield, Pogba, Bruno, and a front three. It's the one we play when Martial's fit, but obviously you bring Telles and you bring Cavani in. Now, I'm not saying Telles will start against Newcastle. Luke Shaw may well start, but I'm just saying we've bought Telles, we've bought Cavani. How do they improve the team? And one thing that might be running through your minds as you're watching this is, does this really make our team stronger? They definitely give us depth, as does Donny van der Beek. But when Martial's fit, I'd prefer Martial to Cavani. And look, Telles versus Shaw, let the debate begin. We've brought 3 players in. They've definitely strengthened our squad and our bench. But have we strengthened the first team? And you keep looking at these formations I show you. There's a weakness in the right wing and there's a weakness in the centre-back. And we haven't addressed that in the transfer window, and that's why it was a failure. But going back to positives, Telles again at left-back in a back four. Look, what's he going to be like in the Premier League? We don't know. Defensively, he's okay. Will he be good in the Premier League? Going forward, he's very good. Will he be good in the Premier League? He's got to be given that opportunity. And if he lives up to the reputation, then we've got a very good attacking left-back in a back four, which is a positive. So we're happy with that. Obviously, you've still got Harry Maguire next to him. You can't have everything. But then you've got Cavani in a front three position, playing the role of Martial. And I think this is, to me, is probably going to be the best way we can play. Because I think that it's the system we're used to. If we can get Telles going forward on the attack, it's good. And it suits Cavani as well. So it suits Telles, but it also suits Cavani. Because Cavani would basically play the current Martial role, which isn't totally dependent on pace. We are quite a possession-based side. We do have the ball in and around the box a lot more. The 5-3-2 is not going to be a lot of ball around the box, and it's going to be quick breaks. As I said, it doesn't suit Cavani. But this system, I think, will suit Cavani really well, because if we can create the chances with people like Bruno and Greenwood and Rashford and get that ball into the box for Cavani, that's where you're going to get the best out of him. Now, my concerns about this side is that Rashford isn't really a creator from the left, and Greenwood isn't really a creator from the right. I love Mason Greenwood. I think he's a bit greedy. Nothing wrong with that. He's going to be a striker. Marcus Rashford, very talented player. I don't think he's a natural creator of goals. So everything falls on Bruno to create things for Cavani. Cavani needs people putting the ball into the box, which again is a massive failure. Why we bring Cavani in, but we've still not got people who can put a cross into the box. And this goes back to Mourinho's days. He wanted Perisic, they didn't get him. We want Sancho, we didn't get him. United have never brought in a player that can put a ball into the box, which is where Telles becomes very important in the Cavani signing. Telles is going to have to get forward like Luke Shaw does a lot in this system. But what Telles can do that Shaw hasn't done is deliver a good ball into the box. So I think in this system, Cavani's success is very dependent on Telles from the width, because Rashford's not really somebody who puts a cross in. Greenwood and Wan-Bissaka don't really put good crosses in. So effectively, in this system, Cavani's going to be very reliant on Bruno, Telles, and to a certain extent Pogba if he can get higher up the pitch. So already I'm starting to see the problems with Cavani. Yes, he's limited in his pace, but also he's going to be limited like Martial was and Lukaku was before him in relation to chance creation. Zlatan was the same, but Cavani's success at Manchester United will depend on chance creation, and we haven't got width to put the crosses into the box. So it's going to have to come from Bruno and it's going to have to come from Telles. Which leaves the third system, which I think a lot of people quite like. Is this the third system? No. It's this one. The diamond. Diamond lights. I've lost my thing. There it is. The diamond system. So this would be interesting because it would incorporate the 3 signings of the summer: the Van der Beek, the Telles, and the Cavani. Now, a lot of people want to see the diamond because it gets everybody into the team. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think this is the system for Manchester United to go for, because it's not one we've used before. It's not one that we're used to, and it really limits our width. Rashford and Cavani as a front two, I think, could work quite well. And I think Cavani probably would work really well in a front two with someone like Rashford. He has played very limited games because he didn't play for PSG that much, but he has played in a front two before with Mbappe. So Cavani in a front two with Rashford works. The midfield is a diamond and it's got Van der Beek, Bruno, Pogba and Matic in it. And the back four is still the same with Telles at the left. Telles would have license to get forward a lot. And I can already hear people saying, this is the system I want. This is the system I want. Telles will get forward and provide the width off the left. Cavani's got support in the front too. And we get Van der Beek, Bruno and Pogba. It could work out to be really good. But we've seen Ollie use a diamond before against Everton last season. And it was a bloody nightmare. I think we played Martial and Greenwood as the front two. They ended up being wing backs. Bruno ended up being a false nine. And it just didn't work very well at all. Can we, significantly into the season, away to home to Newcastle, with big games to come against PSG, Chelsea, Arsenal, can we risk going with a system we're not used to, with 3 new signings in it, and players that aren't used to that system, and a lack of leadership? I think the diamond system has its merits in the fact that it gets 3 players in. Telles would be good down the width. Cavani in the front 2 gives him support. Pace isn't necessarily an issue then. The problem with this and the unlikelihood of this for me is that we've not played it. We've lost our first 2 games of the season. We've got difficult games to come. You go into everyone's away on international duty. You can't do a pre-season or a Carabao Cup game to try it out. We've never used it. I just don't think you can go into the games we've got to come in the high pressure that we've got and play a system like this. So look, it is an option. You've got the back 5, which I think helps Telles but doesn't help Cavani because he won't get many chances and he's not quick on the break. You've got the system we're used to, which is the 4-3-3, which I think helps Cavani, but he's limited from what creativity he's going to get from the width. So we'll be very, very reliant on Telles and Bruno. Or you've got this system that we've never bloody seen before, that Telles can get forward on the left, but he's still got defensive responsibilities. You've still got the weakness of Wan-Bissaka going forward. You have got a front 2, but then again, Rashford in a front 2 I don't think is very good. I think Martial and Cavani would be interested in a front 2, but that would put Rashford and Greenwood on the bench when Martial comes back. And then you've got a midfield 4, which is very good in Pogba, Bruno and Van der Beek, but on the bench, if you need to take one of those off, you're dropping McTominay or Fred or Lingard or Mata into a 4. So look, it's going to be interesting to see what Ollie does. I think they are the 3 main options we've got. There's variants of all of them, but they are the 3 main: 5-3-2, 4-3-3 and the 4-4-2 diamond. How well Ollie will do it, I think personally I would go with this one. I just think it suits Cavani best. It's a good way for Telles to settle in, and it suits the rest of the team who know it. But what I would say about that team on the left is, when I look at the business that Spurs and Liverpool and Man City and Chelsea and Arsenal and Everton and everyone else has done, I look at that team, there's only Anthony Martial and Van der Beek who can come into it. And I just think that's not a team that is going to be anywhere near the top 2 this season and is going to do miracles to get into the top 4. But look, let's hope it can happen. Get your comments in below. What are your thoughts? Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Smash a like on the video. And look, it's going to be interesting to see what Ollie does. But I think Telles down the left is going to be very important for Cavani up front, because he is the only player out of those 4 wide players we've got, 2 fullbacks, 2 wingers, who can put a cross in the box. And Cavani's going to thrive on that. Cavani's career at Manchester United will be dependent on creativity. If we don't create anything, he'll flop. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video, and I'll speak to you all soon.